Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to another webinar. Once again, we are talking about Windows 10 end of life and upgrading to Windows 11, what comes next, and everything involved with that. My name is Peter Meredith. I am here with Tech Eagles, and we have been helping small businesses with IT and cybersecurity for over 15 years. With that said, as we go through, if you have any questions, you can put those in the comments and I will circle back at the end. And without further ado, we will jump in to our topic for today. I'm sure most of you are tired of hearing about Windows 10 end of life, and this will probably be the last webinar we do on the topic. I'm just going to cover a little bit about Windows 10, then we'll get into what options you have, the costs, and then how we here at Tech Eagles can help. But first, an overview. So to make everybody feel old, 2015 was 10 years ago, and that is when Windows 10 was released. Back then, just before the launch, I remember watching the launch and hearing Jerry Nixon say, this is going to be the last version of Windows ever. But it turns out that it wasn't. And that's not really how operating systems work. The way that most software works, modern software that is, as developers create the product, over time, innovations are made, bugs are discovered, and vulnerabilities are taken advantage of by nefarious actors. For those three reasons, modern software requires continuous updates, and it takes work to maintain that. That's why Windows is reaching its end of life. Now, there are three versions of Windows 10. There's a Home, Pro, and Enterprise version. All three have reached their end of life, and regardless of your version, you need to update. Windows is the largest operating system on the planet. About 70% of all desktops run Windows. And today, it's kind of estimated, it's not a totally accurate guess, but about 1/3 likely of all US Windows devices are still running Windows 10 or older. So that's about 82 million computers. This is why we are doing this webinar, even though Windows 10 has reached its end of life earlier this month on October 14th, 2025. So what does it mean for a Windows computer to reach end of life? Well, it means that they're no longer taking the time and energy to implement new innovation or bug fixes to the Windows 10 operating system. We'll talk about in a moment what your options are for security updates. They have a solution that extends the security updates for people who need to maintain a Windows 10 device. But for everybody else, the main option is update to Windows 11. Now there are some hardware requirements, and it's not really clear unless you're technical. Just to the layperson, it's hard to know exactly what all of those requirements mean, but your computer will typically tell you if it can update to Windows 11, and most computers that are less than 5 years old can. The other option you have, if you can't update the computer, is to replace your Windows 10 computer with a computer that can. And finally, the last option is to purchase an extended security update license. When the Windows operating system gets to end of life, they allow a grace period of 3 years where they allow you to purchase an extended security update license for them to continue to patch the vulnerabilities alone that are discovered. They don't provide any more innovation or typically any bug fixes unless it's super critical. That being said, it only lasts for 3 years, and every year the price increases. We'll talk about pricing in a moment, but I wanted to briefly answer a couple questions. It can seem complicated and overwhelming, but it doesn't have to be. And it's absolutely critical that you do take the time to upgrade or replace the computers that need to update. It could save your business. This is kind of the framework that can be helpful to think about how you can upgrade your computers. You ask yourself, do I still need this computer? Well, yes, you still need it. Then you ask yourself, well, can I update it to Windows 11? If the answer is yes, you just update. If the answer is no, then the further question becomes, is it possible to replace this computer? Is the reason you can't update to Windows 11 because of the hardware requirements, or is it because of something else? If it's only a factor of the hardware requirements, then replace the computer with a Windows 11. If not, if there are other requirements for why you cannot upgrade to Windows 11, that is when you would purchase an ESU license. Now, those requirements are typically when you have a piece of specialized software that either they have not come out with a version that works on Windows 11, or there isn't a version that runs on Windows 11. So that would make it more of a legacy type of software. This is very common in industries that require very highly specialized equipment. An example coming to my mind is an X-ray machine. You may have an X-ray machine that's not the newest version, and the software that requires that you use to operate that X-ray machine may not have a version that runs on Windows 11. That is the perfect example of why getting an ESU license is important. But it is absolutely critical. Update to Windows 11 or get an extended security update license as soon as possible. End of life has already been reached, and the longer you go without updating or without a security license, the more risk you are putting on your business. Let's talk about the costs. If you have an existing Windows 10 computer that can update, congrats, it's free. All you have to do is update the computer and you are good to go. The licensing cost is included with your Windows 10 computer. If you need to purchase a new computer, make sure if you're a business, you get one that has Windows 11 Pro pre-installed. That also includes the license. If not, then you'll have to purchase the license separately from Microsoft. If you need to buy an extended security license, it's $61 for the first year of protection for a Windows 10 Pro license. I think the Windows 10 Home license cost is $30 for the first year. And not upgrading or getting an ESU license could cost your business everything, which is far more than the cost of a new computer or an ESU license. Now, how can we at Tech Eagles help? There are a few ways. If you want to know, can my computers update? Do I need to replace them? Do you need any help doing the update or applying an ESU license? Or if you just have any other cybersecurity or IT needs, you can call Tech Eagles and we can help. You have our numbers there. But I wanted to just demonstrate a little bit about what working with Tech Eagles is like, and to better increase the transparency and accountability in our industry, just thought I would share more information. So if you're calling us, you just want to find out some information, this is free, and we can do an analysis for you to find out what computers are compatible with Windows 11. We also will look at the cyber vulnerabilities and risk that are in your business. We can verify compliance with all of the applicable standards, whether that's medical office that's complying with HIPAA, you're a financial office and you have to comply with FTC safeguards, or even any office that takes credit cards needing to comply with the payment card industry standards. We'll also uncover any old hardware that may be slowing your business down. But after all of that, you will get a clear, actionable plan that shows you how to move forward for your business for free. Now, if you need to update your computer to Windows 11, we do have a $75 fee associated with performing that update. This is because we take the time to be very strategic when we apply the update to ensure that nothing goes wrong. We all hate coming into work and your computer did some update overnight and now everything's broken or losing something. So we back up the computer that ensures nothing is lost. Then we apply the update. Once that is complete, we will confirm with you the update succeeded, that everything is there and working as it should with no lingering issues. And in the event that the update fails or there are lingering issues or something goes wrong, this fee will cover any amount of work that it takes for us to fix that issue. Thank you all for joining us. You can see our numbers there. You can call us if you have any questions about this, if you need any assistance upgrading your computers to Windows 11. And you can see there our guarantee working with Tech Eagles, no contracts, real people, or no annual contracts, real people, real work, and real care. With that being said, thank you all for joining us. I did have one special question that I thought I would answer here at the end. In the event that your software or your business requires a operating system that is far past end of life, that extended security updates don't even exist. So Windows 7, Windows 8, even older computer, it is still possible to configure that in a way that protects your business. We do this by creating an air gap, is what it's called, between the device that's running the legacy software and the rest of your computers and the internet. The longer you go from an operating system's end of life, the more vulnerabilities are discovered and the more quickly your computer becomes compromised. I'll leave you with this. Leaving a computer past end of life connected to the internet is not a matter of will you be hacked, but it's a question of when will you be hacked. Thank you all for joining us, and I hope you have a great rest of your day.